Greetings everyone, my name is Gigi and this is Let's Build, wherein I build a LEGO set timed to different media and talk about the facts concerning the topic of the build. Today's build is the LEGO Fortnite Battle Bus versus Fortnite. The footage I'm using for this game is for science, educational, and research purposes. My content is transformative and protected under fair use. All footage is time-lapse with commentary. I apologize in advance for pronouncing names and/or places incorrectly. Specifications of the LEGO set. Ignite imaginations with the LEGO Fortnite Battle Bus video game toy for fans ages 10 and up. Based on the exciting video game, the building set lets gamers create a cool Fortnite vehicle. Fans journey into the exciting LEGO Fortnite world as they build the bus, which has rolling wheels and a removable roof, and the instantly recognizable hot air balloon. But that's just the start. Once the bus is complete, they'll delight in discovering iconic accessories such as the slurp juice, a grappler, pickaxes, and slap juice, as well as 9 minifigures of iconic Fortnite outfits. Bringing the adventure to life, these can be seated inside the bus to fuel creative role play. Once kids have finished playing with the collectible toy, it becomes an awesome piece of LEGO decor they can display proudly in their bedrooms or game rooms. It also makes a thoughtful gift for gamers and LEGO Fortnite fans who will spend hours reaching new levels of creativity with this set. Drive creative play. Fans aged 10 and up can journey into the building adventures with LEGO Fortnite Battle Bus, a video game toy for kids, teens, and adults. LEGO Vehicle Fortnite fans will be thrilled to create a brick-built version of the Battle Bus, which will feature in LEGO Fortnite video games, packed with details. The video game building set features accessories that include slurp juice, a grappler, pickaxes, and slap juice. 9 LEGO Fortnite minifigures. The Battalion Brawler, Adventure Peely, Bright Bomber, Cuddled Team Leader, Cube Assassin, Trespasser Elite, Drift, Meowsicles, and Raven bring the adventure to life. Gift idea for kids. This set makes a great gift for boys and girls who love video games as well as Fortnite fans of all ages. Discover LEGO Fortnite. Unlock new levels of creativity with our collection of LEGO Fortnite building sets and bring the gaming adventure into the real world. Dimensions. The 954-piece Battle Bus building set measures over 11 inches high, 11 inches long, and 5 inches wide. The instruction booklet goes right into the build without any fanfare. The Battle Bus is a gameplay mechanic in Fortnite that was introduced in the pre-season. The Battle Bus is an aerial vehicle in Battle Royale that transports players to the Battle Royale Island at the beginning of every match. It has a specific path, which is randomized each game, and it follows over the island to let players exit and land. This path is always a straight line. When the Battle Bus's doors open and players are able to jump out, its horn sounds. Once the Battle Bus has reached the end of the path, players who haven't exited the Battle Bus will be immediately dropped out of it. By pressing the emote button before exiting the Battle Bus, players can thank the bus driver with a message appearing in the elimination feed. Player name has thanked the bus driver. The default Battle Bus combines a blue painted school bus with a large hot air balloon, which inflates with blue flame to allow the vehicle to fly. Wheel clamps on the bus's back tires render it immobile on the ground. It is very similar to Lars van from Save the World, and even includes a blue glow funnel on the front. In Chapter 4, the battle bus was equipped with rocket engines in order to be able to fly through space. Upon reaching the boundaries of the island, the engine would shut down, the boosters would be jettisoned, and the hot air balloon would be inflated. Variations. The battle bus has had many visual variations throughout Battle Royale's lifetime. The original battle bus, the updated version, the warp engine, Fortnitemares, festive, birthday, Fortnite World Cup, Deadpool, upgraded by Stark Industries, Naruto, graffiti painted version, Dragon Ball, FNCS Invitational, and Remix, birthday. For each of the Fortnite Battle Royale's birthdays, the battle bus earns a decorated appearance featuring confetti, balloons, and the number of its birthday. For each year's Fortnitemares, the battle bus takes on a spooky Halloween-themed appearance, featuring gravestones, candles, jack-o'-lanterns, cobwebs, and spooky music. For each year's Winterfest, the battle bus takes on a festive, holiday-themed appearance, featuring fairy lights, an inflatable Santa head on the balloon, a red and green paint job, and calm music. Lifetime, pre-season. Introduced the battle bus alongside the launch of the Battle Royale. A crashed battle bus could have been seen on a mountain in between Shifty Shafts and Dusty Divot in Chapter 1. The balloon of this battle bus was deflated and almost lost some of its color. Season 4. All battle buses received updated visuals. The crashed battle bus is now destructible along with gaining a proper deflated balloon prop. Season 5. Players now have the ability to thank the battle bus driver by pressing the emote key or button when inside the bus. Doing so displays a message in the elimination feed that states, "The player named has thanked the bus driver." Season 6. During Fortnitemares in 2018, another crashed battle bus could have been seen as a result of the floating island exploding. It could have been found north of Loot Lake and west of Lazy Links. The model of this battle bus is the same as the crashed one outside of Shifty Shafts. At the time this battle bus was added, the old crashed battle bus was removed. Season X, a battle bus was sucked into a black hole along with everything else during the end event. Chapter 2, Season 2. Deadpool redecorated the battle bus in Chapter 2, Season 2. This slowly started to lose its color and ultimately returned to the original. Chapter 2, Season 4. Iron Man starts to redesign the battle bus, giving it upgraded features. Iron Man has fully redesigned the battle bus to be optimized for the Devourer of Worlds live event. These used gamma cells to stay in the air instead of a balloon. The first time the battle bus flew without a balloon. The battle bus returned to normal after the event. Chapter 2, Season 6. The battle bus was briefly featured during the Zero Crisis finale opening, as Agent Jones rode the Zero Point until it was knocked away by a reality wave. Chapter 3, Season 2. The battle bus now has a black and orange balloon with a target-like appearance. The armored battle bus is also added as a vehicle. Chapter 3, Season 3. The battle bus now has graffiti on it. Introduced the Dragon Ball Z appearance of the battle bus, and introduced a new Rainbow Royale appearance. Chapter 3, Season 4. The Battle Bus has been reverted to its original appearance. On November 5th, FNCS Battle Bus appearance is now live. On November 14th of 2022, reverted to the default appearance again. Chapter 4, Season 1. The Battle Bus has received a redesign, being equipped with rocket engines on the back, meaning that Spawn Island is in space. Chapter 4, Season 4. During the 6th birthday quests from September 19th, 2023 to September 26th, thanking the bus driver would prompt player name wished the bus driver a happy birthday in the elimination feed. Chapter 4, Season OG. The Battle Bus has been reverted to its original appearance again. Chapter 5, Season 4. During the 7th birthday quests from September 24th, 2024 to October 1st, 24, thanking the bus driver would prompt player name wished the bus driver a happy birthday in the elimination feed. Chapter 2, Remix. The Battle Bus has been altered to a pink color with graffiti of Snoop Dogg, Eminem's logo, Ice Spice, and Juice WRLD's 999 symbol on each side of it. Fortnite Battle Royale is a 2017 Battle Royale video game produced by Epic Games. Part of the overall Fortnite platform, the game follows up to 100 players competing to be the last player or team remaining. Matches begin with players descending onto a large island map where they gather weapons, items, and resources from scattered locations while attempting to avoid damage from both other players and continuously shrinking safe zones. A building system allows players to use gathered materials, wood, stone, and metal to create temporary structures that can be used for movement, defense, or combat. The game is played from a third-person's perspective. The game is organized into chapters and seasons, each bringing updates to the map, gameplay, and cosmetic potential. Players may purchase an in-game currency, V-Bucks, used to buy cosmetic items such as outfits and emotes. A seasonal battle pass, also purchased with V-Bucks, provides additional content and unlockable tiers. New modes have been introduced since launch, including Zero Build, which removes building mechanics, as well as ranked gameplay and other special formats with different rule sets. Some modes and updates are tied to promotional collaborations with film, television, and music properties. Development began in mid-2017 following the popularity of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, or PUBG. Built using assets from Fortnite Save the World, the mode was originally planned as part of the paid version of Fortnite, but was released separately as a free title. Epic Games launched the mode after 2 months of development, later assigning a dedicated team to support its rapid growth. The game expanded to additional platforms, including consoles and mobile devices, and later introduced cross-platform play and moved to a newer version of the Unreal Engine to improve performance and add new technology. Fortnite Battle Royale has received widespread attention and commercial success, with hundreds of millions of registered players and significant revenue across multiple platforms. Critics praised the building mechanics, accessibility, frequent content updates, and cross-platform functionality. Critics have also noted concern about its monetization system, learning curve, and in-game purchases. The game has had a broad cultural reach, appearing in live events, esports, and licensed media, and has been involved in disputes related to copyright, platform policies, consumer protections, and digital privacy. Gameplay. The core gameplay of Fortnite Battle Royale follows the standard structure of the Battle Royale genre, played from a third-person perspective. Matches typically consist of up to 100 players, either competing individually or in squads of 2, 3, or 4. Each round begins with players skydiving from a flying battle bus and landing on the island map. The island features a fixed layout with various named landmarks and points of interest. These locations contain randomly scattered chests that hold weapons, shields, and other combat resources. Only 5 items at a time can be stored in the inventory. Weapons can be divided into rarities that dictate how much damage they inflict: common, uncommon, rare, epic, and legendary. The primary objective is to be the last player or team remaining, achieved by either eliminating opponents or avoiding them. In solo play, players are immediately eliminated once their health is fully depleted, but in squad modes, they become downed and may be revived by teammates or finished off by enemies. Originally, eliminated players were removed from the match entirely, but an update in April 2019 introduced reboot vans that allow teammates to revive a fallen player. These vans are scarce and typically placed in exposed locations, making the act of reviving a teammate a risk. Throughout the match, the playable area of the map, represented by the Eye of the Storm, gradually shrinks, and players outside the safe zone take increasing damage over time. This directs the surviving players to tighter spaces, forcing player encounters. Hostile NPCs introduced in February of 2020 can be defeated for additional or improved loot, while friendly NPCs, added in December of 2020, offer services such as selling items, healing players, or temporarily joining the player as an AI-controlled ally. Fortnite Battle Royale's main distinction from other Battle Royale games is the building system. Using the pickaxe, the only item given to the player at the start of the game, nearly every object in the environment can be destroyed and harvested for materials: wood, stone, and metal, which players use to construct temporary structures like walls, ramps, floors, and roofs. These structures can serve to navigate the terrain, block incoming fire, or hinder enemy movement. Lighter materials allow for quick builds but are easily destroyed, while stronger materials are more durable but slower to place. Battle Royale is free to play and monetized via microtransactions, allowing players to purchase V-Bucks, a shared currency also usable in the Save the World. Players can earn V-Bucks in Save the World by completing missions and daily objectives, then spend them in Battle Royale on cosmetic upgrades such as outfits, gliders, emotes, back blings, and pickaxes. The game is structured into chapters, each containing several seasons that typically last 10 weeks. Each season introduces a new set of cosmetic items available through a battle pass, which players progress through by gaining experience via gameplay or completing different challenges. A selection of rewards is free, but purchasing the full battle pass with V-Bucks grants access to all tiered rewards, and players can also spend V-Bucks to skip tiers. In December of 2020, Epic launched the Fortnite Crew subscription, providing members with the latest Battle Pass, a monthly V-Bucks stipend, and exclusive cosmetic content. Epic Games has continuously added new features to Fortnite Battle Royale, including weapons, vehicles, and items. The company can deploy hotfixes to quickly adjust gameplay elements such as weapons, stats, and item spawn rates. Items may also be cycled out in a process known as vaulting if they are unbalanced or unpopular. In December of 2018, Epic simultaneously launched Fortnite Creative, a mode allowing players to create anything they wanted, and The Block, a rotating showcase of community-made creations added to the Battle Royale map. 1 year later, Epic released the Battle Lab mode, which allowed players to design custom Battle Royale experiences, but this was removed due to the expanded capabilities of Creative Mode. In April of 2020, Epic introduced Party Royale, a separate combat-free map designed for social interaction and live events, where players can use non-lethal items such as paint guns and vehicles. Before September of 2019, matchmaking was primarily determined by platform and region, but an update introduced skill-based matchmaking, using internal metrics to evaluate player performance. Epic also added AI-controlled bots into regular matches, allowing new or less experienced players to practice mechanics and strategies more comfortably. Special modes. Epic Games has introduced several distinct game modes to Fortnite since 2022, starting with Zero Build in March 2022. This mode removed the traditional building mechanics and added an overshield feature, giving an additional regenerating set of HP. Initially replacing standard Battle Royale, during the first week of Chapter 3, Season 2, Zero Build became a permanent standalone option in April of 2022. Epic later added the Zero Build Trials and a competitive arena mode in July of 2022. In May of 23, a ranked mode was introduced for both standard and Zero Build gameplay across all team sizes, adjusting matchmaking based on player performance. Ranked mode was eventually extended to newer game types. Fortnite Reload, launched in June of 2024, features a compact map based on the original island, with 40-player matches, limited weapon selection, and automatic respawns except for the final moments. It supports solo, duo, squad, Zero Build, and ranked gameplay. In December of 2024, Fortnite OG debuted with Chapter 6, bringing back the original Chapter 1 map with rotating seasonal changes and mostly legacy mechanics and items. Like Reload, it supports multiple playstyles, including ranked. Beyond permanent modes, Epic has experimented with limited time modes within the game. One of the earliest limited time modes was 50v50, which divided players into two large teams and placed them on opposite sides of the map. Teams had a time to gather resources, build defenses, and prepare for battle before the storm forced confrontation. In June of 2018, Epic released the Playground LTM, a sandbox-style mode for up to 4 players to explore, build freely, and engage in combat with respawns enabled. This mode was later made permanent, but was relocated to Creative when a new mode, Battle Lab, was released in 2019. A preliminary competitive mode, Solo Showdown, ran for a limited time starting May 2018, ranking players by their final placement in matches and rewarding the top-placing competitors with V-Bucks. In 2025, Epic released the Blitz Royale mode of Battle Royale, where 32 players fight in a smaller map and the playable area shrinks much more quickly. In Blitz Royale, every player starts with a medallion that gives them different abilities, and can find boons in chests which provide weaker abilities. Fortnite Delulu was also introduced as an LTM in 2025, which features up to 80 players per match. The mode is focused around proximity chat, with players able to hear and talk to other players that are near them on the map. While players enter the mode through a solo queue, they can use this chat feature to team up during the match, though there remains only one winner at the end of the match. Seasonal changes and promotional events. Fortnite Battle Royale has created a larger, loose narrative that is exhibited through changes in the in-game map, which generally correlated to the start and end of the in-game season. For example, in lead up to the 4th season of the first chapter, which started in May of 2018, players saw a number of shooting stars across the skies, which followed by a giant comet that neared the ground. Upon the start of that season, the comet had hit one of the locations on the map, leaving a giant crater among other changes. This coincided with the introduction of superhero and supervillain themed cosmetic items. Epic has the ability to create custom events that occur across all game servers simultaneously as well. The first such event involved a countdown culminating in the launch of a rocket in June of 2018. The aftermath of this event created cracks in the sky, which eventually expanded into a rift that served as the narrative basis for Season 5. Shortly after the release of the film Avengers: Infinity War, Epic ran a Marvel-sponsored event that featured the Infinity Gauntlet that randomly spawned on the map. Any player that equipped it became Thanos with added abilities. A second Avengers-based mode was released upon the release of Avengers Endgame, where players were randomly split between Avenger and Chitauri armies, seeking out the Infinity Stones or the Infinity Gauntlet. Since then, Fortnite Battle Royale has periodically included limited-time promotional content from various entertainment properties, typically timed to coincide with media premieres. These properties have included John Wick, Stranger Things, Star Wars, and Family Guy, among many others. Fortnite Battle Royale has also hosted numerous non-gameplay related promotional events, primarily in the form of virtual concerts, film previews, and branded media showcases. These events began with EDM artist Marshmello's in-game concert in February of 2019, which attracted over 10 million players. Subsequent performances have included Metallica, Travis Scott, and Ariana Grande, often drawing millions of live viewers and offering themed cosmetic items. Several of these concerts debuted new songs or leveraged extended reality production, with events like Scott's show Astronomical using unique visual effects. These effects are typically held within the Party Royale mode, with artists like Diplo, Steve Aoki, deadmau5, and BTS, who premiered a special choreography video for Dynamite using the platform. Additionally, Fortnite Battle Royale has served as a platform for broader media and brand partnerships. Star Wars content debuted in-game alongside live preview of The Rise of Skywalker, hosted by Geoff Keighley and the movie's director J.J. Abrams, as did a trailer for Christopher Nolan's movie Tenet. Disney used a UEFN Unreal editor for Fortnite Experience in 2014 to live stream a segment of its D23 Entertainment showcase, unveiling Marvel-themed game content and distributing free cosmetics to attendees. Other branded collaborations have included performances or features tied to Karol G, Snoop Dogg, Ice Spice, Eminem, and Juice WRLD. Epic also started a weekly Fortnite Spotlight in-game concert event series in September of 2020 using Party Royale, with concerts from various musicians planned for free for any player of Fortnite to watch. According to Nate Nazar, Epic Games' head of global partnerships, they are creating this platform to work with artists, big artists, and up-and-coming artists. Development. Fortnite had first been announced by Epic Games in 2011, considered to be a combination of Minecraft and Left 4 Dead, with 4 players cooperating to scavenge resources and build fortifications, traps, weapons, and other objects to survive attacks from monsters. The game experienced a prolonged development period due to external industry pressures, including a shift toward game-as-a-service model and internal changes within Epic, such as a shift in focus to their first free-to-play title, Paragon. During this time, Epic reached an agreement with Tencent, granting the company approximately 40% ownership in exchange for support in transitioning to a games-as-a-service model and access to the Chinese video game market. In June of 2017, Epic confirmed that Fortnite was planned for release in 2018, with a paid early access period starting 1 month later. The game was otherwise intended to be a free-to-play title supported by microtransactions. Upon entering early access, the game featured its primary gameplay mode, Save the World, in which teams of up to 4 players worked cooperatively to survive and complete objectives on procedurally generated maps. During the later parts of Fortnite's development, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds was released in early access on personal computers in March 2017 and quickly became a popular and successful example of the Battle Royale genre. In 2017, Epic Games' CCO, Donald Mustard, CEO Tim Sweeney, and 2 other executives were traveling by Uber to a meeting with Disney in California to discuss potential opportunities when they decided to create a Battle Royale mode for Fortnite. During the 3-hour ride, Mustard wrote on a 1-page design document that they intended to present to Disney. The idea for the Battle Bus came from seeing a school bus during that ride. According to Mustard, the Epic team loved Battle Royale games like Battlegrounds and began exploring how a similar mode could be integrated into Fortnite's engine. Development of the mode was kept separate from the main player versus environment content to show experimentation without affecting game balance. The development of Fortnite Battle Royale was led by Eric Williamson, with Zach Estep serving as production lead. Their objective was to develop the new mode quickly based on the existing Save the World mode, putting off any complex features that weren't already in place as to launch the new mode as soon as possible. While they explored such potential ideas, they held off inclusion until after the main mode was launched. Development began in July of 2017 after Save the World was released, and lasted about 2 months, with assistance from Unreal Tournament team. Battle Royale's differences from Save the World include a more limited progression for weapons, a small subset of traps, and a smoother, more natural terrain for the maps. They aimed for matches lasting no longer than 25 minutes, which influenced decisions about which elements from Save the World would be excluded. They had included Fortnite Battle Royale's building mechanic for fortifications, unsure how players would use it since the safe zone would continue to shrink, but found quickly that the mechanic helped distinguish the game from battlegrounds and was used by expert players frequently to win matches. Epic later added features to help players build temporary bases more easily. In the 2 months of development, Epic initially planned to include the Battle Royale mode within the paid version of Fortnite, and announced this publicly in early September of 2017. 2 weeks before the mode's release, Epic chose to launch it as a separate free-to-play title, concerned that including it with the paid version would hinder its growth. Epic formally announced this decision about a week after the initial announcement of Battle Royale, offering refunds to those who had purchased early access in anticipation of the new mode. Fortnite Battle Royale was officially released on September 26, 2017. This release, which beat out Battlegrounds to consoles, caused some concern with Battlegrounds developer Bluehole, as they had been working closely with Epic for Unreal Engine support in Battlegrounds, and were worried that Fortnite might be able to include planned features of their Battle Royale mode before they could release them in Battlegrounds. By early 2018, Fortnite Battle Royale had become popular, and Epic assigned a dedicated development team to focus on improvements for the mode. Due to substantial player base and the fact that Fortnite Battle Royale was marketed as a game-as-a-service product, the team experienced extensive working hours dedicated to patching, receiving over 3,000 tickets every day, up from 20 to 40 before the game's growth. Additionally, Epic acknowledged that its focus on Fortnite had resulted in decreased player activity in some of its other games, leading to reduced development for those titles, particularly Paragon. In January of 2018, Epic announced that Paragon would be shut down by April of that year and that all its players would receive refunds. Similarly, Epic announced that it had halted development for the planned free-to-play Unreal Tournament game, transitioning its team to work on Fortnite, although the game would remain available, playable, and open to user modifications. Players on a Fortnite-dedicated Reddit forum had expressed concerns that a similar fate would befall the Save the World mode of Fortnite, as the mode had not received the same level of updates and improvements as Battle Royale since its release. According to Mustard, from the outset of Fortnite Battle Royale's development, Epic intended to include a narrative, with a long-term story planned by Mustard. However, they recognized that most players were primarily focused on the core mechanics of the game. As a result, they chose to present players as observers of the in-game events rather than central characters. The story would be conveyed through non-player characters and other media. The narrative was designed to be adaptable, allowing for responses to player feedback and integration of promotional collaborations, all of which were tied to a multiverse concept that was part of the overarching narrative. The inclusion of narrative elements led the team to develop new methods for storytelling, such as single-time global events and specialized single-player missions. On June 29, 2020, Epic announced that it would no longer consider Save the World to be an early access and simultaneously removed the early access labels from both Battle Royale and Creative modes. With the launch of Chapter 3 on December 5, 2021, Epic transitioned the game to the Unreal Engine 5. public reactions, and legal disputes. Following Fortnite's Battle Royale's release on mobile platforms, the game gained significant popularity among younger players due to its free-to-play model, cartoon-like visuals, and social gameplay. Reports emerged of the game disrupting classroom environments and affecting students' ability to complete homework, prompting Epic to include loading screen messages discouraging play during school hours. In 2018, the UK's Secretary of State for Culture, Media and Sport raised concerns about excessive screen time associated with Fortnite Battle Royale and similar games. Organizations such as the U.S. Center on Media and Child Health and the UK's National Society for Prevention of Cruelty to Children warned that the game's violent content could influence children's behaviors. A Canadian law firm later filed a class action lawsuit against Epic, alleging the game was designed to be addictive without adequate warnings. Courts allowed the case to proceed in December of 2022. Some parents and guardians have cited positive aspects of Fortnite Battle Royale, such as its capacity to facilitate socialization beyond regular peer groups and its comparatively low level of violence. Others used the game as a reward system or viewed it as a potential avenue for children to develop competitive gaming skills, prompting the emergence of paid tutors. However, the game's role as a social space raised concerns about peer pressure and bullying, especially around the cosmetic items. In-game purchases, particularly rare outfits, became status symbols among players, leading some children to spend money to avoid the stigma associated with default skins. Fortnite Battle Royale's monetization system has been described as encouraging continued spending in a social competition context. Additional concerns include children's vulnerability to security risks, including phishing schemes and data breaches, as well as the potential for contact with online predators, with at least one documented case. On November 16, 2023, Epic introduced an age restriction system limiting the use of certain skins in user-generated content, but reversed the change 5 days later following widespread criticism. Since March 2018, Fortnite Battle Royale has been targeted by hackers seeking to access and resell accounts with valuable cosmetic items. Authorities have identified the game as a conduit for credit card fraud, with criminals using stolen credit data to purchase in-game currency and then selling it at a discount through third-party platforms. Security firms, such as Check Point, identified vulnerabilities allowing unauthorized access to accounts, including voice chat interception and fraudulent purchases. Epic patched a major vulnerability by January of 2019, but a class action lawsuit was filed in August of that year over its failure to notify affected users. Epic has also taken enforcement action against players using cheating software, including aimbots, through legal complaints and in-game bans. Several people filed lawsuits over the use of popular dance emotes in the game, including 2Milli, Donald Faison, Alfonso Ribeiro, Russell Horning, and the parent of the creator of the Orange Justice dance, among many others, claiming unauthorized use of choreography. While Epic sought dismissal on the grounds that simple dance moves are not copyrightable, many of these lawsuits were withheld following a 2019 U.S. Supreme Court ruling requiring copyright registration before filing infringement claims. In August of 2020, Epic reduced V-Bucks prices by 20% on all platforms except iOS App Store and Google Play, simultaneously introducing a direct payment option to bypass the standard 30% platform fee. Apple and Google responded by removing Fortnite Battle Royale from their respective stores, prompting Epic to file lawsuits accusing both companies of anti-competitive behavior. Courts denied Epic's request to reinstate the game on iOS, and a 2021 ruling permanently barred Apple from prohibiting developers from directing users to alternative payment systems. Meanwhile, Epic worked with NVIDIA and Microsoft to make Fortnite Battle Royale accessible via browser-based cloud gaming. Fortnite Battle Royale returned to the App Store in the EU in August of 2024, and in the US in May of 2025. Other legal disputes have included a copyright lawsuit by PUBG Corporation, later dropped, and other several cases including breaches of non-disclosure agreements by testers who leaked unreleased content. Epic also pursued legal action against individuals and YouTubers distributing cheat software and selling modified accounts. In 2025, Epic introduced a Darth Vader character using a generative AI-based James Earl Jones's recordings, which led to the actors union SAG-AFTRA filing a complaint stating that although Jones had approved use of his voice for posthumous AI replication, Epic was still required to negotiate licensing terms with the union. Total build time today, 2 hours, 18 minutes, 4 seconds, which means you could watch 5.5 episodes of The Magic School Bus. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Remember to like, subscribe, share, ring that bell, all the things for the YouTubes. Thank you.